You don't need to beg for anyone's attention, chase their approval, or play games to keep them around. It's time to stop. Stop texting out of desperation. Stop chasing those who won't give you the time of day. Stop letting your self-worth be tied to someone else's behavior. You need to understand something deep down: you are enough. Right now, just as you are. Your worth isn't dependent on anyone else's opinion, their affection, or their attention. If someone can't see that, let them go. Because the right people will see you, will recognize your value, and they won't make you beg for it. The moment you stop chasing, the moment you stop playing games, something powerful happens. You reclaim your peace. You reclaim your energy. And when you stop sending texts just to get a response, you create space for meaningful connections to enter your life. Real relationships, real love are never about begging or chasing. They're about respect. They're about authenticity. And if you aren't being respected, it's time to walk away. You don't need to prove yourself. You don't need to beg or chase after someone who isn't giving you the same energy. Your confidence, your self-assurance is magnetic. It's time to stop seeking approval from anyone. You don't need anyone else to tell you that you're worthy. When you know your worth, you don't have to chase and you don't have to beg. You'll be amazed at how much peace you find when you stop playing those games. You'll find that when you focus on your own life, your own growth, everything that's meant for you will come naturally. Stop engaging in the drama. Stop being part of the chaos. You deserve peace. You deserve balance. And that is what you'll attract when you stop begging, chasing, and playing games. Remember this: the greatest power you have is in your silence, your detachment, and your ability to walk away. You're not here to chase anything. You're here to live on your terms. And when you live with that kind of power, the right people will respect you. The right things will come to you. So no more begging, no more chasing, no more texting out of desperation. Stop playing games, be who you are, and watch everything you deserve fall into place. Self-worth is the foundation upon which everything in your life should be built. It's the very essence of who you are, and it is not something that can be earned or taken away by others. In a world where we are constantly bombarded with external validation, it's easy to lose sight of this truth. But you need to understand something fundamental: you are enough, exactly as you are, without needing to beg, chase, or play games for anyone's attention, affection, or approval. Too often, people believe that their worth is tied to how others see them. The idea that we must prove our value through actions or words to gain love, acceptance, or recognition is deeply ingrained in society. But this belief is a lie. Your value is not something that can be bargained for or negotiated. It's intrinsic, embedded in the very core of your being. It's not dependent on how someone else feels about you or whether they reciprocate your affections or desires. When you understand that your worth is inherent, you stop measuring yourself by the approval of others. You stop chasing after people who don't see your value. You stop thinking that you need to beg for someone's time or affection, or that you need to play games to earn their attention. When you know who you are, when you understand your worth, you no longer feel the need to prove anything to anyone. Think about how much time and energy we waste chasing after things that aren't meant for us. We chase relationships, recognition, and success because we think these things will validate us, will prove to us that we matter. But the truth is, no external validation can ever fill that void if you don't already recognize your worth within yourself. You are not defined by the job you have, the relationship you're in, or the number of people who like or follow you. You are defined by the strength of your character, your integrity, your kindness, and your ability to stand firm in your truth. It's incredibly liberating when you realize that you don't need to chase anyone or anything. When you no longer feel the need to win people over or convince them of your value, you free yourself from the shackles of insecurity and doubt. You stop wasting time and energy on things that drain you. Instead, you begin to focus on what truly matters: your growth, your peace, your happiness. No one is going to value you more than you value yourself. This is a critical truth that too many people overlook. If you are constantly chasing after others for their approval, you are telling them that you don't believe in your own worth. You're giving away your power. The moment you stop begging for attention or chasing people who don't appreciate you, you begin to reclaim that power. You begin to radiate a quiet confidence that others can't help but notice. People are drawn to that energy because it's rare and authentic. It's magnetic. When you know your worth, you don't feel the need to play games. You don't have to engage in manipulative behavior or put on a facade to get someone's attention. You show up as yourself, unapologetically, and if someone is meant to be in your life, they will see that and appreciate you for who you are. If not, you let them go, without hard feelings, without resentment. You understand that your value isn't dependent on their opinion of you. The reality is that when you constantly seek external validation, you are giving away the power to define yourself. It's like you are handing your self-worth to others, giving them control over how you feel about yourself. But when you recognize that your value comes from within, you take that power back. You set the terms for how you are treated. You no longer feel like you have to chase after people or try to make them see you in a certain light. You simply are, and that is enough. The moment you start to believe in your own worth, you stop wasting time on things that are not aligned with your true self. You stop engaging in relationships, situations, and environments that don't serve you. You stop allowing people to treat you in ways that don't honor your value. This shift in mindset allows you to make room for the people and opportunities that truly resonate with who you are at your core. Self-worth is about recognizing that you are deserving of respect, love, and kindness, not because of anything you do, but because of who you are. You don't need to beg for respect or chase after someone's love. When you know your worth, you create boundaries that protect your energy. You allow people to show you the respect and care you deserve, or you walk away from them. When you embrace your intrinsic worth, you stop measuring your value based on external circumstances or other people's actions. You stop looking for validation outside of yourself because you understand that you are already whole. You are enough, just as you are. And when you recognize this, you will find that the right people, the right opportunities, and the right circumstances will come into your life without you having to chase after them. Your worth doesn't have to be earned, because it has always been yours. Detachment is one of the most powerful tools you can use in life, especially when it comes to freeing yourself from the constant need for validation and external approval. When you let go of the need to control outcomes and stop chasing after things, people, or results, you create a space where the right things, the right people, and the right opportunities can enter your life naturally. It's a paradox that many struggle to understand. By letting go, you actually gain more. This concept of detachment isn't about abandoning your goals or desires. Rather, it's about trusting that what is meant for you will come to you without force, manipulation, or desperation. In today's world, we are often taught to chase after what we want. From relationships to career success, we are conditioned to believe that we must push and strive constantly to get what we desire. But the truth is, the more we chase, the more we push away the things we truly want. Why? Because desperation is a powerful energy that repels what we seek. When we are attached to a specific outcome or fixated on a particular person, we are essentially sending out a signal of lack, of neediness. This energy is not attractive. It creates tension, anxiety, and a sense of urgency that pushes people and opportunities further away. On the other hand, is about releasing that sense of need. It's about trusting the process and having faith that what's meant for you will come to you in its own time. Detaching doesn't mean you stop caring or working toward your goals. It simply means you stop obsessing over the outcome. You stop clinging to a specific person, situation, or result, and instead allow the universe to bring you what's in alignment with your highest good. This shift in mindset is powerful because it frees you from the mental and emotional strain of constantly trying to control everything. When you detach, you create a sense of space in your life, space for new opportunities, space for growth, and space for peace. When we are constantly attached to an outcome or someone's approval, we are filling up that space with anxiety, worry, and frustration. We become so focused on the end result that we lose sight of the present moment, of the beauty of the journey. Detachment allows us to stay grounded in the present, where we can appreciate what we already have, while still keeping our eyes open for what's next. The power of detachment also lies in the fact that it helps you cultivate a deep sense of self-reliance. You stop relying on external sources for validation and start looking within. You realize that your worth is not determined by how others see you or whether your efforts immediately bear fruit. When you no longer depend on the approval of others, you free yourself from the anxiety of seeking it. This internal validation is far more powerful than anything anyone else can give you, because it is unshakable. When you let go of the need for validation, you become more authentic. You begin to make decisions based on what feels right to you, rather than what others think or expect. You stop making choices to please others or to fit into someone else's mold. Instead, you begin to live from a place of true alignment with your values, your purpose, and your desires. This authenticity is magnetic. It draws people toward you who resonate with your true self, rather than the version of yourself that you were trying to portray in order to gain approval. Detaching from outcomes also allows you to cultivate patience. We live in an instant gratification world where we are used to getting what we want immediately, but not everything happens on our timeline. Sometimes the things we want most take time to materialize. When you detach, you release the pressure of trying to force things to happen. You allow things to unfold in their own time, trusting that the right people, situations, and opportunities will come to you when the time is right. This kind of patience is powerful because it removes the frustration and disappointment that often come when things don't happen according to our plans. The beauty of detachment is that it brings a sense of freedom. When you stop chasing after outcomes, you stop living in a constant state of fear and anxiety about what might happen. You let go of the worry that things might not turn out the way you hope. You stop holding on to things that are no longer serving you, whether that's a relationship, a job, or a situation that's causing you stress. In this freedom, you begin to feel lighter, more at ease. You are no longer weighed down by the need to control everything, and you begin to move through life with a sense of grace and confidence. Detachment also fosters a deeper connection to the present moment. When we are constantly fixated on a future outcome, we miss out on the richness of the now. We fail to appreciate the beauty and lessons that lie in the present moment. Detachment allows us to be fully present, to engage in life with a sense of curiosity and openness. When we are no longer attached to a specific result, we are able to see things more clearly, make better decisions, and find joy in the journey rather than just focusing on the destination. It's not about giving up or losing interest in your desires. It's about trusting that the right things will come to you at the right time. It's about letting go of the need for validation and releasing your grip on outcomes. By doing so, you create space in your life for what truly matters. You stop chasing, and instead you begin to attract. The power of detachment lies in the freedom it brings: freedom from anxiety, from the need to control, and from the pressure to constantly prove yourself. When you let go, you open yourself up to receiving everything that is meant for you. Respect is the cornerstone of every meaningful relationship, and it's essential to recognize that true connections are founded on mutual respect, not manipulation, games, or seeking approval. Unfortunately, many people get caught in the cycle of seeking validation from others, often resorting to texting or engaging in behavior that comes from a place of desperation rather than self-assurance. But to build relationships that are truly fulfilling, it's crucial to break free from these patterns and understand the importance of respecting yourself and others. Respect begins with you. If you want to attract and nurture relationships that are built on a solid foundation, you must first respect yourself. This means acknowledging your own worth, recognizing your value, and setting boundaries that protect your time, energy, and emotions. When you truly respect yourself, you stop seeking approval from others, and you stop compromising your integrity or dignity to gain their attention. You know that your worth isn't dependent on someone else's opinion of you. Respect means honoring each other's feelings, desires, and boundaries. It means treating others with kindness, understanding, and empathy, and not manipulating them to get what you want. Many people, however, fall into the trap of playing games in their relationships. They text out of a sense of urgency, to fill a void, or to get a reaction. They may think that by being overly available or using certain tactics, they will be able to gain someone's affection or attention. But the truth is, these behaviors rarely result in genuine connections. Instead, they often create confusion, frustration, and distance. When you text out of desperation, you are signaling that you don't believe in your own worth. You're showing that you're willing to chase after validation and approval, which sets the tone for the relationship. People can sense when someone is not confident in themselves, and this often leads to a lack of respect. The more you chase, the less respect you earn. Relationships that are built on manipulation or approval seeking are shallow and unsatisfying. They lack the depth, trust, and understanding that come when both people honor and value each other equally. On the other hand, when you hold your ground and refuse to text out of desperation, you set the tone for a relationship built on true respect. This doesn't mean you should play hard to get or withhold communication as a form of manipulation. Instead, it means that you recognize that your time and energy are valuable, and you won't waste them on behaviors that don't align with your self-worth. When you respect yourself, you can engage in relationships with a sense of balance, knowing that you don't need to prove anything or chase after anyone. You are enough just as you are. Holding your ground also means setting clear boundaries. Boundaries are not walls, they are the guidelines that you establish to protect your emotional, mental, and physical space. When you respect yourself, you define what is acceptable and what isn't in your relationships. You don't allow anyone to manipulate or take advantage of you, and you don't engage in behaviors that undermine your own dignity. When both parties in a relationship respect each other's boundaries, there is a greater sense of trust, understanding, and emotional security. When respect is at the heart of a relationship, there's no need for games or manipulation. The need for validation fades because both people understand that their worth is inherent, not contingent on the other person's approval. There's a sense of mutual appreciation, where both individuals feel valued for who they are, not for what they can give or do for each other. Genuine connections are formed when people can be themselves without fear of judgment or rejection, knowing that the other person respects them for who they truly are. When you stop texting out of desperation and start respecting both yourself and the other person, you allow space for healthier communication. In a relationship built on respect, communication becomes clear, honest, and free of manipulation. You don't need to play games or send mixed signals because you can express your needs, desires, and feelings openly and directly. This honesty fosters trust, and trust is the bedrock of any lasting relationship. It's important to remember that respecting yourself doesn't mean being cold or distant. It doesn't mean ignoring someone or withholding affection. It means recognizing that you are worthy of being treated with dignity and kindness. When you hold your ground, you show others that you value yourself and your time. You also set a standard for how you expect to be treated in return. The respect you show yourself sets the example for how others should treat you. Relationships based on respect are the ones that stand the test of time. They are the ones where both people feel secure, valued, and loved without the need for constant reassurance or manipulation. When respect is the foundation, both individuals are able to grow and thrive independently while supporting each other in their journey. There's no need to chase, no need to beg for attention, and no need for constant approval. Instead, both people show up as their authentic selves, understanding that they deserve to be loved and appreciated for who they are, not for what they can do to please the other. So stop texting out of desperation. Stop seeking validation from others and start building relationships based on respect. Hold your ground and trust that the right people will come into your life when you stop chasing after those who don't recognize your value. When you respect yourself and others, you open the door to deeper, more meaningful connections that are rooted in mutual appreciation and understanding. These are the relationships that will bring you joy, fulfillment, and lasting happiness. When you stop seeking approval from others, you take a bold and empowering step towards personal freedom. Seeking constant validation from others is a habit that keeps you tethered to external expectations, causing you to lose sight of your own self-worth and identity. But when you decide to stop chasing after someone's approval, you send a powerful message: you are confident in who you are, and you don't need anyone's validation to feel complete. This shift in mindset is transformative and has the potential to change your life in profound ways. From an early age, many of us are conditioned to seek approval from others. Whether it's from our parents, teachers, peers, or even society, we're often told that our value is tied to how others perceive us. We learn to measure our self-worth by how much love, attention, or recognition we receive from outside sources. As we grow older, this pattern becomes ingrained, and we find ourselves constantly chasing after approval, whether it's through seeking praise at work, trying to fit into certain social circles, or altering our behaviors to please others. This constant need for validation only serves to undermine our sense of self. The more we chase after approval, the less we believe in our own worth. We start to depend on the opinions of others to determine how we feel about ourselves, and this creates an unstable foundation for our self-esteem. When someone praises us, we feel good, but when we don't receive the recognition we crave, we begin to doubt ourselves. This roller coaster of external validation is exhausting and ultimately leaves us feeling unfulfilled. The moment you decide to stop seeking approval is the moment you begin to reclaim your power. You start to realize that your worth isn't dependent on how others see you. It's intrinsic. It comes from within. You are already whole, already valuable, and already enough. You don't need to prove anything to anyone because your value isn't something that can be given or taken away by external forces. It's something that you define for yourself. This realization is liberating. It frees you from the constant pressure to conform or to chase after the approval of others. You no longer feel the need to please people just to feel good about yourself. Instead, you focus on what truly matters, staying true to who you are, following your own path, and making decisions based on your values and desires, not based on the approval or opinions of others. When you stop seeking approval, you begin to make choices that align with your authentic self. You no longer feel the need to compromise your integrity or change who you are to fit into someone else's expectations. Whether it's in your personal relationships, your career, or your social circles, you start to embrace your individuality and trust your own judgment. You know that you don't need to seek external validation to feel validated. The confidence that comes from this realization allows you to live authentically and unapologetically. This shift in perspective also empowers you to set healthier boundaries. When you no longer seek approval from others, you become less likely to tolerate behavior that doesn't align with your values. You stop saying yes to things that drain you or make you uncomfortable just to gain approval. Instead, you prioritize your well-being and make decisions based on what is best for you. By setting clear boundaries, you teach others how to treat you, and you create space for relationships and opportunities that are built on mutual respect and understanding. Furthermore, stopping the cycle of seeking approval enhances your mental and emotional well-being. When you no longer rely on external validation, you free yourself from the anxiety, stress, and uncertainty that come with constantly trying to please others. You stop living in a state of fear of judgment, fear of rejection, or fear of not being good enough. Instead, you begin to live from a place of inner peace, knowing that your value is not contingent on anyone else's approval. The confidence that arises from not seeking validation also increases your resilience. You become less affected by criticism or negative opinions because you no longer tie your self-worth to what others think of you. While constructive feedback can still be valuable, you no longer take it personally or allow it to define your sense of self. You understand that others' opinions are just that, opinions, They do not dictate your worth. When you stop chasing and begging for approval, you also create room for genuine relationships. Authentic connections are based on mutual respect and understanding, not on the need to impress or gain approval. By showing up as your true self, you attract people who appreciate you for who you are, not for who you pretend to be. These are the relationships that are built on trust, support, and a deep sense of belonging. You no longer feel the need to perform or seek constant validation. Instead, you can simply be yourself and allow those who truly resonate with you to come into your life. One of the most powerful aspects of stopping the quest for approval is that it frees you to take risks and pursue your passions without fear of judgment. When you no longer care about what others think, you're able to follow your dreams with confidence, even if they don't align with societal expectations or the opinions of others. You stop playing it safe and start taking bold steps toward the life you truly want to create. This is where real growth happens, when you stop holding yourself back out of fear of not being approved. Stopping the search for approval is one of the most empowering decisions you can make. It allows you to reclaim your power, strengthen your confidence, and live authentically. By no longer seeking validation from others, you create the freedom to make decisions that align with your values, set healthy boundaries, and build genuine relationships. Most importantly, you recognize that your worth is not determined by anyone else's opinion. It's something that comes from within. When you stop chasing approval, you finally step into the fullness of who you are, and that is where true fulfillment lies. Words hold immense power. They can inspire, motivate, heal, and connect us to one another. But despite their power, words alone mean very little without the force of action behind them. Far too often, people say the right things without ever following through. And while their words may sound convincing in the moment, they fail to create any lasting impact. True power lies not in what we say, but in what we do. When you pair your words with intentional, purposeful actions, you step into a space of authenticity and integrity that commands respect and fosters trust. The gap between words and actions is where people often get stuck. It's easy to say things that sound good, but actions speak louder than any verbal promise. Think about how many times you've heard someone say they'll change, or they'll do something for you, only for nothing to happen. How does that make you feel? Chances are, the words lose their meaning because they weren't backed by real effort or follow-through. When people speak without action, they undermine their own credibility and the strength of their relationships. The old saying, "Talk is cheap," exists for a reason. Words without action are just noise, empty and fleeting. To truly embody power, you must align your words with your actions. It's not enough to say you're going to do something. There must be tangible results that prove your commitment. This alignment between words and actions builds trust, which is one of the most valuable things in any relationship, whether personal or professional. Trust is built on consistency. When your actions match your words, you create an environment where others feel safe, valued, and respected. On the flip side, when there's a disconnect between what you say and what you do, you erode that trust and can leave others feeling disappointed, hurt, or even betrayed. The key to making your actions speak louder than your words lies in being intentional with what you do. Intentionality means being clear about your intentions and then acting on them with purpose. It means not saying things just because they sound good, but because you genuinely believe in them and are committed to following through. Intentional actions have weight. They communicate to the world that you are not someone who takes promises lightly or who operates based on impulse. Every move you make is aligned with your values and your deeper sense of purpose. This level of intentionality also requires accountability. It's easy to say things, but it's much harder to follow through on them. When you speak with purpose and then act with purpose, you hold yourself accountable for the outcomes. This means taking responsibility for the promises you make and owning up to your actions, good or bad. When you make a commitment, it's not just a verbal promise, it's a commitment to act. And when you fall short, true power lies in acknowledging that and making the necessary adjustments. When you take action, You're also demonstrating your dedication to your words, which sets you apart from those who only speak without substance. The world is full of talkers, people who will tell you what they plan to do, how they'll help, how they'll improve, but never actually make it happen. The true leaders and difference makers are those who can translate their words into action and are consistently striving to improve the world around them. They let their results speak for themselves, and they understand that lasting change is built on what they do, not just what they say. Taking action means being willing to put in the effort, even when it's difficult. It means showing up when you don't feel like it, staying committed when things get tough, and doing the hard work required to make your words a reality. Words may inspire others to act, but it's your actions that set the example. When you consistently act with integrity, when you deliver on your promises, you motivate others to do the same. People are inspired not just by what you say, but by what you do. Your actions encourage others to take their own steps toward fulfillment, achievement, and growth. Action is the key to breaking free from inaction and stagnation. We all have goals, dreams, and desires, but it's easy to get caught up in overthinking or talking about them without ever making progress. This is where the power of action becomes clear. Taking that first step, however small, is often the hardest, but once you begin to act, momentum builds. Action creates forward movement, and with each step, you move closer to your goal. The key is to stop waiting for the perfect time or the perfect words and simply take action, even if you don't have all the answers. It's also essential to realize that taking action doesn't always mean making grand, sweeping gestures. Often it's the small, consistent actions that make the biggest impact over time. Whether it's showing up every day, putting in the effort, or being there for someone when they need it, these small actions accumulate to create significant change. The consistency of your actions over time speaks volumes, and this consistency is what earns you respect and builds trust. People will remember your actions long after your words fade away. To truly harness the power of action, you must also be aware of your mindset. Taking action requires a mindset that is driven by purpose, discipline, and focus. It means staying committed to your goals even when things don't go as planned. It requires resilience and the ability to learn from failures rather than giving up. When you cultivate a mindset that values action, you align your words with your deeds in a way that maximizes your impact on the world. Words without action are hollow and meaningless. If you want to step into true power, stop playing games with your words. Be intentional in everything you do. Let your actions be the proof of your commitment and the reflection of your values. When you live with integrity and consistently back up your words with purposeful action, you create trust, inspire others, and move closer to achieving your goals. True power is in the action you take, not in the words you speak. In a world full of chaos, negativity, and distractions, it's easy to get caught up in drama. The temptation to engage in conflicts, arguments, or manipulations often feels overwhelming. And before you know it, you're trapped in a cycle of emotional turmoil that drains your energy and peace of mind. But the truth is, you deserve peace, not drama. You deserve a life where balance and tranquility are the foundation, and where you are not constantly pulled into unnecessary conflicts or toxic situations. When you stop engaging in cycles of drama and manipulation, you open up space for peace to settle into your life, and the right people, those who truly resonate with your energy, will begin to respect and gravitate toward that calm presence. Drama is insidious. It often starts small, an offhand comment, a misunderstanding, or a misplaced word, and before long, it spirals into something far bigger than it ever needed to be. You may find yourself repeatedly drawn into arguments or conflicts that, deep down, you know are not worth your time or emotional investment. These cycles of drama drain you. They rob you of your energy, disrupt your sense of calm, and cause unnecessary stress. Over time, they create patterns of behavior that keep you stuck in a loop of tension and uncertainty. You may feel like you are constantly reacting, trying to put out fires. But the truth is, these fires are not your responsibility to extinguish. The first step in breaking free from these cycles is to recognize that you have a choice. You don't have to engage in every conflict, every argument, or every drama-filled situation that comes your way. You are not obligated to respond to manipulation, negativity, or petty games. You are in control of your emotional state, and you can choose how you react to the situations around you. When you decide to stop engaging in drama, you are taking back your power. You are no longer allowing others to dictate your emotional experience, and you are no longer allowing negativity to infiltrate your life. This doesn't mean you should avoid confrontation altogether or allow people to walk all over you. It means that you choose your battles wisely and approach situations with a mindset of calm and clarity. Instead of reacting impulsively, take a moment to assess whether the situation is worth your time and energy. Is it a genuine issue that needs to be addressed? Or is it simply a distraction, a game that someone else is trying to pull you into? The more you recognize the difference, the easier it becomes to disengage from drama and stay focused on what truly matters. When you prioritize peace over drama, you are making a conscious decision to protect your mental and emotional well-being. You no longer tolerate situations that compromise your inner peace or disturb your sense of balance. You begin to set healthy boundaries that prevent others from dragging you into toxic situations or manipulating your emotions. It's essential to understand that not everyone is entitled to your time, attention, or energy. By learning to say no, you preserve your peace and protect yourself from unnecessary stress. This shift toward peace also involves letting go of the need for validation from others. Drama often arises when people seek attention, approval, or validation in unhealthy ways. Instead of seeking constant approval or needing to be right, you learn to be secure in yourself and your decisions. You trust your own judgment, and you no longer need to prove anything to anyone. When you stop engaging in cycles of drama, you stop chasing after external validation and start focusing on the internal sense of peace and satisfaction that comes from knowing you are enough just as you are. Another crucial aspect of creating peace in your life is surrounding yourself with people who respect your energy and value your boundaries. The right people, the ones who are aligned with your values and vision for your life, will support your desire for peace. They will respect your boundaries and will not try to drag you into unnecessary conflicts. These are the people who uplift you, encourage you, and bring positive energy into your life. When you stop participating in toxic drama, you clear the space for these types of relationships to flourish. You attract individuals who are also focused on growth, peace, and personal integrity, and who do not have time for petty games or manipulation. As you focus on creating peace, you'll find that your own energy shifts. Instead of reacting to situations with anger, frustration, or defensiveness, you begin to approach challenges with a sense of calm and resilience. This shift allows you to handle difficult situations more gracefully, without letting them throw you off balance. You'll be able to communicate more effectively, listen more attentively, and navigate conflict with a level-headed approach. As a result, you'll find that the people around you begin to respond to you differently. They'll notice your calm presence, and they'll start to respect your energy, recognizing that you are someone who chooses peace over drama. Creating peace in your life also involves taking care of your inner world. You must invest time in nurturing your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. Practicing mindfulness, meditation, and self-care routines helps to strengthen your ability to stay calm in the face of adversity. The more you cultivate inner peace, the more it will radiate outward, attracting positive energy and people who resonate with your peaceful state of mind. When you choose peace, you also choose to let go of the need for control. Drama often stems from a desire to control people or situations, but the reality is that we cannot control the actions or behaviors of others. The only thing we can control is how we respond. By relinquishing the need for control and focusing on your own peace, you free yourself from the stress of trying to manage every situation and person around you. You begin to trust that everything will unfold as it's meant to, and that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way with grace and composure. You deserve peace, not drama. When you stop engaging in cycles of drama and manipulation, you reclaim your power and create space for calm, balance, and positivity in your life. By setting healthy boundaries, letting go of the need for validation, and surrounding yourself with supportive people, you can create an environment where peace thrives. As you cultivate inner peace, you attract the right energy into your life, people who respect and appreciate the tranquility you bring. Choose peace and watch how your life transforms. In conclusion, embracing a life of no begging, no chasing, no texting, and no games is a powerful decision to reclaim your peace and self-worth. When you stop seeking validation from others and stop engaging in toxic cycles, you create space for real, meaningful connections based on mutual respect. By detaching from outcomes and focusing on your own inner strength, you begin to attract the right energy into your life. You deserve peace, not drama. And by choosing to protect your energy, you empower yourself to live a life of intention and balance. The more you focus on yourself and act from a place of confidence, the more you'll see the positive shifts in your relationships and in your own personal growth. Thank you for listening. Stay true to yourself, hold your ground, and remember you are enough. There is a beauty in simplicity that often goes unnoticed. But let me remind you today that simplicity paired with high standards is a force unstoppable. A simple woman grounded in her truth is like a still lake, unassuming yet profoundly deep. She knows that her worth is not determined by external noise. She does not seek to prove herself, for she already knows who she is. Her simplicity is not a lack, it is a refusal to entertain the superficial. She doesn't complicate her life with unnecessary drama or distractions. Instead, she carries herself with quiet dignity, allowing her standards to speak louder than her words. Understand that standards are not walls, they are invitations. When you hold yourself to a high standard, you are not excluding others, you are inviting only those who resonate with your frequency. The simple woman understands this truth. She does not demand respect, it flows to her naturally because her energy commands it. Some may question her, asking why she seems so picky or hard to get, but a simple woman with big standards does not waver. She knows that what is meant for her will never require her to compromise her integrity. She knows that lowering her standards only brings chaos and disappointment. When you align with your standards, you set the tone for how others treat you. Life itself rearranges in response to your beliefs. If you believe you deserve mediocrity, that is what will fill your life. But if you know you deserve the best, the universe has no choice but to meet you where you stand. To the simple woman with big standards, understand this truth: you are not alone. You are the embodiment of inner strength and quiet confidence. Keep walking in your simplicity. Keep upholding your standards. The right people, the right opportunities, and the right life will align with you, not because you begged for it, but because you believed in it. In this world, simplicity is a superpower. And when simplicity is paired with unshakable standards, it transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. So stand firm. Your life is shaped not by what you chase, but by what you allow. Simplicity is often misunderstood in a world that equates complexity with sophistication. Yet, simplicity is not a mark of inferiority, it is a reflection of clarity and confidence. A simple woman with high standards stands apart because she operates from a place of quiet assurance. She does not need to wear her worth like a badge or constantly seek validation from others. Her simplicity is not a mask for inadequacy, but a declaration of her inner strength and self-awareness. To be simple is to be clear about who you are and what you value. This clarity allows a woman to strip away the unnecessary, both in her outward appearance and in her inner life. She knows what she stands for, and she refuses to dilute herself to fit into spaces that do not honor her essence. Her standards are not designed to exclude, but to protect her energy, her time, and her peace. She values these treasures too much to squander them on pursuits or people that do not align with her vision of herself. In relationships, both personal and professional, she brings this same energy of quiet confidence. She does not demand attention or seek to dominate a room. Instead, Her presence commands respect because it is authentic and unwavering. She knows her worth is not tied to how others perceive her, but to the value she places on herself. This self-respect sets the tone for how others interact with her. They sense her unspoken boundaries, her unwavering standards, and they rise to meet her where she stands. There is strength in simplicity because it allows for focus. A simple woman knows how to prioritize what truly matters. She does not scatter her energy on frivolous endeavors or meaningless pursuits. Her clarity enables her to channel her efforts toward what aligns with her purpose and values. In a world full of noise and distractions, this focus is a rare and powerful gift. It allows her to navigate life with intention, moving forward without being swayed by every passing trend or opinion. Some may mistake her simplicity for passivity or lack of ambition, but they are mistaken. Her simplicity is not about doing less, but about doing what matters most. She is deliberate and discerning, not driven by the need to impress, but by the desire to live authentically. This discernment extends to every area of her life, from the relationships she nurtures to the goals she pursues. She understands that quality always outweighs quantity, whether in love, friendships, or achievements. Critics might label her as too simple or too picky, but she remains unfazed. She knows that those who misunderstand her are simply not meant to walk alongside her. A simple woman with high standards is not for everyone, and she is perfectly at peace with that. She would rather stand alone in her truth than compromise her values for the sake of acceptance. This unwavering commitment to herself is not arrogance, it is the ultimate act of self-respect. Her simplicity is also her greatest asset in navigating the complexities of life. By staying grounded in her essence, she can adapt to challenges without losing herself. She faces adversity with grace and composure because she is not burdened by pretense or unnecessary complications. Her clear mind and steady heart give her the resilience to overcome obstacles while staying true to her path. A simple woman with high standards is a beacon of clarity and confidence in a world that often prioritizes appearances over substance. She is proof that simplicity is not a lack but a choice to value what truly matters, to honor oneself, and to live with purpose. Her simplicity is her strength, her high standards are her guide, and her unwavering self-belief is the foundation of her extraordinary life. Standards are not arbitrary rules or unreasonable expectations, they are a reflection of how much a person values themselves. For a woman with high standards, these are not barriers meant to isolate her or push others away. They are a manifestation of her deep-seated belief in her own worth. Her standards are not negotiable, nor are they shaped by the opinions or desires of others. They are rooted in the conviction that she is deserving of what aligns with her values, her vision, and her purpose. Lowering her standards is not an option because she knows it would mean doubting herself. She has no interest in settling for less than what she truly desires. Settling, to her, is not an act of practicality or compromise, it is an act of betrayal toward herself. She would rather wait patiently and faithfully for what aligns with her than accept what falls short. Her patience is not a sign of weakness, but a demonstration of her unwavering belief in her worth. This belief is powerful because it shapes how she moves through life. It influences her relationships, her career, and even the way she treats herself. She does not allow others to dictate her value or convince her to accept less than she knows she deserves. Her high standards act as a filter, weeding out what is incompatible with her and making space for what truly belongs in her life. She is not afraid to say no, to walk away, or to start over if necessary, because she trusts that the right things will come when she holds firm to her values. Her high standards extend to every aspect of her life. In relationships, she values authenticity, kindness, and mutual respect. She will not tolerate dishonesty or inconsistency, not because she is difficult, but because she values emotional safety and genuine connection. In her career, she strives for excellence and refuses to settle for mediocrity. She holds herself accountable to the same standards she expects from others, ensuring that her life is a reflection of her deepest beliefs. This alignment between her standards and her beliefs is what makes her magnetic. She does not need to chase opportunities or people. They are naturally drawn to her because of the energy she carries. Her unwavering belief in herself creates a sense of certainty and stability that others find inspiring. She becomes a living example of what it means to honor oneself, and this inspires others to do the same. Her standards are a declaration of faith. She knows that the universe responds to the energy she puts out. By upholding her standards, she is telling the universe, "I am ready to receive what is meant for me." She understands that her belief in herself is the key to attracting the life she desires. It is not about forcing things to happen or chasing after what she wants. It is about aligning herself with her vision and trusting that everything will fall into place. A woman with high standards is not difficult, she is discerning. She is not rigid, she is intentional. Her standards are not barriers, they are bridges to a life that reflects her highest self. She knows that what she deserves is already hers, and she will not compromise on that truth. This belief is her power, her foundation, and her compass as she navigates life with confidence, grace, and purpose. Detachment is a quiet, profound power that is often misunderstood. It is not apathy, indifference, or a lack of care. Rather, it is the ability to let go of the need to control outcomes and trust in the natural flow of life. A simple woman who embodies detachment understands this truth deeply. She does not chase after what she desires, nor does she beg for recognition or approval. Instead, she aligns herself with her values, knowing that by doing so, the world will naturally meet her at her level. This quiet power of detachment is rooted in self-worth. She knows her value and does not seek it outside herself. This inner certainty frees her from the compulsion to prove, to force, or to manipulate situations. She trusts that what is meant for her will come, and what is not will fall away. This trust allows her to release attachment to specific outcomes, understanding that holding on too tightly only creates resistance. By letting go, she opens herself up to receive with grace and ease. Detachment does not mean she lacks ambition or desire. It means she approaches her goals with clarity and confidence, free from desperation. She understands that chasing after something places her in a position of lack, signaling to the world that she believes she is incomplete without it. But she knows she is whole as she is, and this wholeness radiates through her actions and presence. Her desires do not come from a place of need, but from a place of alignment. She seeks what resonates with her values and purpose, trusting that her energy will attract the right opportunities and people. When it comes to relationships, her detachment is not coldness, but a form of respect both for herself and for others. She does not cling to people or try to hold them against their will. She allows others the freedom to choose, understanding that love, respect, and connection cannot be forced. If someone does not value or reciprocate her energy, she does not beg them to stay. Instead, she lets them go, confident in the knowledge that their absence creates space for something better to align with her. This strength is not always easy to maintain in a world that often equates effort with worthiness. Society encourages people to hustle, chase, and fight for what they want. But she knows there is a different path, one that requires trust, patience, and inner peace. By refusing to chase, she demonstrates her belief in the power of alignment. She knows that her energy, actions, and intentions are enough to draw what is meant for her. Her detachment also extends to the material world. She does not obsess over possessions or status symbols because her sense of self is not tied to external markers of success. She values simplicity, focusing on what truly matters rather than getting caught up in superficial pursuits. This clarity allows her to make decisions that align with her long-term vision, rather than being swayed by fleeting desires or societal expectations. When challenges arise, her detachment becomes her greatest asset. She does not allow setbacks to define her or throw her off course. Instead, she views them as opportunities for growth and recalibration. By not attaching herself to a specific outcome, she remains flexible and open to possibilities that may be even greater than what she initially envisioned. Her detachment is not a lack of commitment, but a willingness to adapt and trust the process. This quiet power transforms her interactions with the world. People are drawn to her not because she demands their attention, but because she carries an aura of self-assurance and peace. She does not chase after recognition or approval, she simply lives in alignment with her truth, and the right people recognize her for who she is. Her lack of desperation creates space for genuine connections, untainted by neediness or ulterior motives. Detachment is a form of freedom. A simple woman who embraces this freedom is unburdened by the need to control, impress, or conform. She walks through life with a calm confidence, knowing that her worth is not dependent on external validation. Her alignment with her values creates a magnetic pull, drawing the right opportunities, relationships, and experiences into her life. By not chasing or begging, she creates a space for the universe to work in her favor, and in that space she finds peace, purpose, and fulfillment. A woman who embodies simplicity and high standards is not exclusive in the sense of being aloof or unreachable. Instead, she is highly selective. This distinction is profound. She does not shut herself off from the world or reject opportunities and relationships out of pride or arrogance. Rather, her selectiveness is an intentional act of focus and alignment, ensuring that her energy is spent only on what truly matters. She understands that simplicity is not about having less, it's about choosing carefully and living with clarity. Her selectiveness begins with self-awareness. She knows who she is, what she values, and what she wants from life. This clarity allows her to distinguish between what adds value to her journey and what distracts from it. She is not swayed by trends, opinions, or societal expectations. Instead, she tunes into her own intuition and makes choices based on what feels right for her. This inner compass guides her, enabling her to filter out the noise and focus on the people, experiences, and goals that align with her purpose. Her simplicity acts as a natural filter. She does not need to overcomplicate her life by chasing after everything or saying yes to everyone. She understands that spreading herself too thin only dilutes her energy and reduces her ability to give her best to what truly matters. By being selective, she creates space in her life for depth, quality, and meaningful connections. This does not make her exclusive or unapproachable, rather, it makes her intentional. She values her time and energy, recognizing them as finite resources that deserve to be protected and invested wisely. In relationships, her selectiveness ensures that she surrounds herself with individuals who respect her values and uplift her spirit. She is open to forming connections, but not at the expense of her peace or self-worth. She is not drawn to superficial interactions or fleeting dynamics. Instead, she seeks relationships that are rooted in authenticity, trust, and mutual respect. This does not mean she expects perfection from others. She understands that everyone is human. However, she is discerning about who she allows into her inner circle, knowing that the company she keeps has a significant impact on her growth and well-being. Her selectiveness also extends to how she pursues her goals. She does not scatter her energy across countless ambitions, hoping that something will stick. Instead, she takes the time to identify what is truly important to her and dedicates herself fully to those pursuits. This focus allows her to achieve more with less effort because she is not distracted by things that do not serve her. Her simplicity is not a lack of ambition, but a refinement of it. By concentrating her efforts on what truly matters, she amplifies her ability to succeed. Even in her daily life, her selectiveness is evident. She does not clutter her mind or environment with unnecessary distractions. She prioritizes simplicity, not as an aesthetic choice, but as a practical one. A clear space, a focused mind, and a calm heart enable her to navigate life with ease and clarity. This does not mean she avoids challenges or discomfort. Rather, she chooses her battles wisely, investing her energy where it will have the greatest impact. Some may mistake her selectiveness for exclusivity or even elitism, but this is a misunderstanding. She is not closed off, she is simply protective of her peace and purpose. Her simplicity is not about rejecting others, it's about honoring herself. She believes that everyone has the right to live with intention and alignment, and she extends the same respect to others that she expects for herself. She does not judge or look down on those who make different choices. She simply knows what works for her and remains true to it. This selectiveness does not isolate her, it empowers her. By focusing on what truly matters, she creates a life that is rich in meaning and free from unnecessary burdens. Her simplicity allows her to experience greater joy and fulfillment because she is not weighed down by distractions or compromises. She moves through life with grace and confidence, knowing that her choices reflect her deepest values. Her selectiveness is a form of self-respect. She understands that her time, energy, and attention are precious, and she refuses to waste them on anything that does not align with her vision. This does not make her exclusive, it makes her intentional. Her simplicity is a powerful tool that enables her to live fully and authentically, focusing on what truly matters while letting go of everything that does not. True power does not demand to be proclaimed, it radiates quietly and unmistakably. A simple woman with high standards does not need to announce her worth or advertise her values. She carries them in the way she moves, speaks, and interacts with the world. Her actions, decisions, and the energy she brings to every situation speak louder than words ever could. It is this quiet, unwavering presence that commands respect and sets the tone for how others treat her. She understands that value is something demonstrated, not declared. People can say anything, but actions reveal truth. For her, living in alignment with her standards is far more powerful than verbal declarations. When she says she values integrity, she shows it through her honesty and dependability. When she claims to prioritize self-respect, it is evident in the way she handles herself, refusing to compromise her dignity for temporary approval or fleeting gains. Her energy is magnetic, not because she tries to impress, but because she remains authentic. She doesn't seek validation from others, nor does she force anyone to understand her worth. Instead, she allows her character to shine naturally, trusting that those who recognize her value will align with her, while those who do not are simply not meant to stay in her life. This quiet confidence creates a powerful ripple effect that subtly sets expectations without the need for confrontation or explanation. Her actions set the tone in relationships, work, and personal endeavors. She doesn't need to say, "I won't tolerate disrespect," because her boundaries are clear in the way she responds to others. If someone crosses a line, she calmly but firmly enforces her limits. If someone fails to appreciate her efforts, she doesn't plead for recognition, she simply steps back, knowing her value does not depend on another's acknowledgement. This approach may seem understated, but it speaks volumes to those who interact with her. This woman understands that people take cues from how she treats herself. If she prioritizes self-care and refuses to settle, she naturally communicates that she expects others to treat her with the same respect. On the other hand, if she were to lower her standards, it would send the message that she accepts less than she deserves. But she does not falter. She consistently shows up for herself, and in doing so, she inspires others to meet her at the level she operates. Her energy is a quiet yet powerful invitation to rise higher. She does not demand or manipulate. Instead, she embodies the value she holds dear, letting her presence do the work. When others see her commitment to excellence, her grace under pressure, and her refusal to compromise her principles, they naturally begin to match her energy or drift away. This is not arrogance, it is alignment. She understands that she cannot change others, but she can maintain her own standards, and this consistency has a transformative effect on those around her. In professional settings, her value shines through her dedication and results. She doesn't waste time boasting about her abilities, she lets her work speak for itself. Her attention to detail, her discipline, and her ability to stay true to her vision make her a force to be reckoned with. Colleagues and leaders quickly learn that she is not someone to underestimate or take lightly. They respect her not because she demands it, but because she earns it through her unwavering commitment to excellence. Even in personal relationships, her value speaks louder than any declaration. She doesn't need to announce that she deserves respect, loyalty, or love. Her behavior makes it clear. She is kind but firm, compassionate but discerning. She does not chase after anyone or beg for attention. Instead, she invests her energy in those who reciprocate, creating bonds built on mutual respect and genuine connection. Her ability to let her value shine through actions rather than words comes from a deep sense of self-awareness. She knows who she is and what she brings to the table. This inner certainty allows her to move through life with grace and ease, unbothered by the need to prove herself. She trusts that her energy will attract what aligns with her, and she has no interest in convincing others of her worth. A simple woman with high standards teaches an important lesson: value is not something you declare, it is something you embody. Through her consistent actions and unwavering energy, she sets the tone for how she is treated without ever needing to say a word. Her presence is her statement, and it is both powerful and undeniable. Manifestation is not about effort, it is about alignment. A woman who holds firm to her standards understands this profound truth. Her reality is not shaped by external circumstances, but by the certainty she carries within herself. She knows that by staying true to her values and refusing to compromise her principles, she creates a life that mirrors her inner state. This is the essence of manifestation, the ability to attract what aligns with who you are and what you believe to be true. Her standards are not arbitrary, they are deeply rooted in her self-awareness and her understanding of what she deserves. She does not set them to impress others or to fulfill societal expectations. Instead, they are a reflection of her inner values, her respect for herself, and her unwavering belief in her worth. These standards act as a guide, helping her navigate life with clarity and purpose. When she holds firm to them, she sends a powerful message to the universe: this is who I am, and this is what I allow into my life. The beauty of this approach lies in its simplicity. She does not need to chase after what she desires. Instead, she focuses on becoming the person who naturally attracts those things. Her energy is not spent trying to force outcomes or manipulate situations. Rather, she aligns herself with the reality she wishes to experience. This alignment is not a passive act, it is an active choice to embody her values, maintain her standards, and trust that what is meant for her will find its way into her life. Her inner certainty is the foundation of her manifestation power. She does not waver in her beliefs, even when faced with challenges or delays. She understands that the outer world is a reflection of the inner world, and as long as she remains steadfast in her values, the external circumstances will eventually align. She does not allow temporary setbacks to shake her faith or lead her to lower her standards. Instead, she uses them as opportunities to reaffirm her commitment to herself. This unwavering belief creates a sense of calm and confidence that is palpable. Others can sense her inner strength, even if they cannot articulate it. She does not need to explain or justify her standards because her energy speaks for itself. People and opportunities that resonate with her values are naturally drawn to her, while those that do not simply fall away. This is not a coincidence, it is the result of the clarity and certainty she brings to her life. She also understands that manifestation requires patience and trust. She does not rush the process or become frustrated when things do not happen immediately. Instead, she remains grounded in the knowledge that everything unfolds in its perfect time. Her role is not to control the how or when, but to stay aligned with her values and trust that the universe is working in her favor. This trust allows her to let go of anxiety and fear, creating space for her desires to flow into her life with ease. Her standards act as a filter, ensuring that only what aligns with her values enters her life. She does not settle for less or compromise her principles to gain temporary satisfaction. This discipline may seem restrictive to some, but to her, it is liberating. By saying no to what does not serve her, she creates room for what truly belongs in her life. This selectiveness is not about being exclusive, it is about being intentional. Her approach to manifestation is not limited to material goals or external achievements. It is a holistic process that touches every aspect of her life. Whether it is relationships, career opportunities, or personal growth, she holds the same high standards. She knows that true fulfillment comes from living in alignment with her values, not from accumulating things or seeking approval from others. By staying true to herself, she ensures that every aspect of her life reflects her authenticity. This inner certainty also makes her resilient. She is not easily swayed by external opinions or pressures. because her confidence comes from within. She does not need validation from others to feel secure in her choices. This independence strengthens her ability to manifest because it keeps her focused on her own path. She is not distracted by comparisons or doubts. She remains centered in her truth, trusting that what is meant for her will come. Her life becomes a reflection of her inner world. By holding firm to her standards, she creates a reality that is aligned with her values, her vision, and her worth. This is not magic, it is the natural result of living with clarity, intention, and unwavering belief. Her manifestation power lies in her ability to stay true to herself, knowing that everything she desires is already hers when she aligns with it from within. The essence of a simple woman with big standards is her unwavering commitment to herself. She embodies clarity, grace, and inner certainty, crafting a life that reflects her values without needing to chase or compromise. Her simplicity is her strength, her standards are her compass, and her quiet confidence is the force that shapes her reality. She knows that true power lies not in seeking external validation, but in living authentically, trusting that the universe aligns with her belief in her own worth. So to every woman who dares to remain true to herself, embrace your simplicity, stand firm in your standards, and trust the power of your inner certainty. You are not defined by the noise around you, but by the quiet, resolute energy you carry within. Thank you for listening, and may you always have the courage to live in alignment with your highest self. Let me tell you something straight. In this life, hesitation is the thief of greatness. Too many people sit on the sidelines, not because they lack talent, but because they are too shy to step into the spotlight. But not you. After today, you're leaving all that hesitation behind. Dreams are the seeds of greatness. Yet so many of us are too timid to say them out loud, as if speaking them will make them any less real. Let me tell you right now, your dreams are valid. Don't let anyone convince you that aiming high is arrogance. Speak your dreams with pride, because the world only makes room for those bold enough to declare their intentions. There's no shame in needing a hand. We weren't made to walk this road alone. Asking for help is not weakness, it's wisdom. Whether it's seeking advice from a mentor or leaning on a friend during tough times, don't let pride or shyness rob you of the strength found in unity. Truth can be uncomfortable, but it's always powerful. Don't shy away from who you are or what you believe. Stand firm in your convictions, even when it feels like the world is trying to shake you. Your truth is your foundation. It's not something to hide, it's something to build on. The world doesn't benefit from you playing small. You've worked hard, sacrificed, and overcome. So when it's your time to shine, don't dim your light. Celebrate your wins, no matter how big or small. When you embrace your own greatness, you give others permission to do the same. Now hear me when I say this. Life is too short to tiptoe around the things that matter. Be bold. Speak loudly. Stand tall. The next time shyness tries to creep in, remember this greatness doesn't hide, it stands proud and unapologetic. Your voice is more than just a tool for communication, it is your power, your identity, and the bridge between your thoughts and the world around you. Yet, so many of us choose to stay silent when it matters most. We bite our tongues in meetings, keep our ideas locked away in fear of rejection, or shy away from speaking up for ourselves because we worry about judgment. But let me tell you something, silence often buries opportunities. When you hold back your voice, you deny yourself the chance to shape your reality. Words have weight. They have the power to inspire, to challenge, and to create change. Every great movement in history began with someone daring to speak. Every significant relationship thrives because of open and honest communication. Every missed opportunity often traces back to the words we were too afraid to say. Silence is comfortable. It feels safe. It avoids confrontation and shields us from vulnerability. But comfort is not where growth lies. When you refuse to speak your truth, you not only rob yourself of opportunities, but also deprive the world of the unique perspective you bring. There are ideas, thoughts, and solutions that only you can offer. Imagine the countless doors that remain closed simply because you chose not to knock. But let's address the fear behind silence because it's real. Speaking up often feels like stepping into the unknown. You might wonder, what if they don't agree? What if I'm misunderstood? What if my words aren't enough? These fears are valid, but they must not define you. Growth happens when you push through that fear, knowing that your voice carries value regardless of the outcome. The truth is, not everyone will agree with you. Not everyone will embrace your ideas or opinions. But that's not the point. The point is to be authentic, to stand by your convictions, and to give yourself the freedom to be heard. Your voice is also a reflection of your self-worth. When you choose to speak up, you are saying, I matter. My thoughts matter. My experiences matter. And that self-affirmation has a ripple effect. It teaches others to respect your presence and acknowledge your contributions. It encourages them to listen and perhaps even reflect on their own silence. Think about the moments in your life when you did speak up. Maybe you advocated for yourself in a challenging situation. Maybe you shared an idea that transformed a project or a relationship. Maybe you defended someone who couldn't defend themselves. How did that feel? It felt powerful because it was powerful. Every time you use your voice, you reclaim a piece of your power and strengthen the belief that you are capable of shaping your world. But this isn't just about you. Speaking your truth also creates space for others to do the same. When you lead by example, you inspire those around you to step out of their own shadows of silence. It becomes a collective act of courage, a reminder that every voice matters in the grand symphony of life. Now, this doesn't mean you have to speak loudly or aggressively to be heard. Power doesn't come from volume, it comes from authenticity. It comes from speaking with clarity, intention, and confidence in what you believe. Even a whisper can move mountains when it carries conviction. So the next time you feel the urge to stay quiet, ask yourself, what opportunities am I burying by holding back? Whether it's an idea, a need, or a boundary, your voice is the key to unlocking possibilities. It's the difference between being a spectator in your own life and being an active participant. The world is full of noise, but it's the voices that carry truth and purpose that rise above it. Don't let fear or doubt silence you. Speak your truth, because your voice is your power. Life is not a passive experience, it is an active pursuit of purpose, growth, and fulfillment. Too often, people go through their days quietly waiting, hoping that the blessings they desire will somehow find them. They tell themselves that being patient and keeping their heads down is the way to go. But life does not hand out rewards to the timid. It honors those who step forward boldly and claim what is rightfully theirs. Asking for what you deserve is not about entitlement, it is about recognition of your worth and the courage to act on it. So many people hold themselves back, not because they lack talent or potential, but because they fear rejection. They convince themselves that they are asking for too much, or that they haven't yet earned the right to want more. But let's be clear, playing small will not make your dreams any closer to reality. If you do not ask, you will not receive. This doesn't just apply to material success or professional achievements. It's about every area of your life: relationships, opportunities, respect, and even the way you allow yourself to be treated. Think about it. How many times have you settled for less than you deserved because you were too afraid to ask for more? Maybe it was a promotion you didn't pursue, a boundary you didn't enforce, or a dream you didn't chase. Each time you hold back, you send a message to the world and to yourself that you are okay with less than you deserve. Now, let's talk about what it takes to ask for what you deserve. It begins with belief in your value, your abilities, and your right to receive the abundance life has to offer. This belief is the foundation of confidence, and confidence is the key to asking boldly. When you truly understand your worth, it becomes impossible to settle for scraps. You recognize that your time, energy, and talents are precious, and you refuse to waste them on anything that doesn't honor your potential. But belief alone is not enough. Action is where the transformation happens. Asking for what you deserve requires courage, because the answer might not always be yes. There will be times when people say no, when doors close, or when you face criticism for being too ambitious. But understand this rejection is not failure, it is redirection. Every time you step forward and ask, you are planting a seed of possibility. Even if the immediate answer is no, you are building the habit of advocating for yourself, and that habit will eventually lead to success. One of the greatest obstacles to asking boldly is the fear of being perceived as selfish or demanding. Society often teaches us to be humble, to avoid making waves, and to accept what we are given. But humility does not mean shrinking yourself. It does not mean denying your desires or settling for mediocrity. True humility is knowing your worth and carrying yourself with quiet confidence. It is understanding that asking for what you deserve is not just about you. It's about honoring the gifts you have been given and using them to create impact. The blessings you seek are often closer than you think, but they require action to be unlocked. Whether it's speaking up in a meeting, negotiating for better pay, or setting boundaries in a relationship, the act of asking sends a powerful message to the universe: I am ready. It shows that you are willing to step out of your comfort zone and claim the life you envision for yourself. You have to understand that the world doesn't owe you anything. No one is going to hand you your dreams on a silver platter. But when you show up boldly, when you ask with conviction and persistence, life responds. It may not happen overnight, but each time you ask, you are aligning yourself with the opportunities and outcomes you desire. So, don't be timid. Don't wait for permission or validation. You are deserving of the life you want, but it's up to you to claim it. Ask for what you deserve, not with arrogance, but with the unwavering belief that you are worthy. Life will meet you at the level of your courage. Make sure you're asking boldly enough for it to hear you. Every person on this planet is unique, carrying a combination of qualities, experiences, and perspectives that no one else has. Yet, in a world that often pressures us to conform, it's easy to forget that our uniqueness is not a flaw, it's our greatest strength. The very things that set you apart, the things that make you different, are what give you the power to make an impact. Authenticity is your superpower, and there is no need to apologize for being yourself. Think about it: how much energy do people waste trying to fit into molds that were never made for them? They suppress their quirks, hide their opinions, and mimic others in the hope of gaining acceptance. But in doing so, they lose the spark that makes them special. Pretending to be someone else may win approval, but it will never bring fulfillment. True joy comes from embracing who you are, flaws and all, and living in alignment with your values and passions. Being authentic doesn't mean you're perfect, it means you're real. It's about owning your story, the highs and the lows, and letting go of the need to please everyone. When you show up as your true self, you attract the right people and opportunities into your life. Those who appreciate you for who you are will gravitate toward you, while those who don't align with your authenticity will naturally fall away. This is not a loss, it's liberation. Embracing your uniqueness is also a form of self-respect. It's saying to the world, I am enough just as I am. When you stop apologizing for being yourself, you create space to explore your potential fully. You stop hiding your talents out of fear of judgment. You stop dimming your light to make others comfortable. And most importantly, you give yourself permission to thrive. But let's be honest, embracing your uniqueness isn't always easy. Society often rewards conformity and punishes difference. People may criticize or misunderstand you when you choose to stand out. This can be intimidating, but remember, the opinions of others do not define your worth. The discomfort of being judged is temporary, but the regret of not being true to yourself can last a lifetime. It's important to understand that your uniqueness doesn't just serve you, it serves the world. You bring something to the table that no one else can. Your perspective, your creativity, and your experiences contribute to the richness of the human story. Imagine how many innovations, works of art, or breakthroughs would be lost if everyone suppressed their individuality. By embracing your uniqueness, you become a force for diversity, growth, and progress. Of course, there will be times when you feel the temptation to conform, to tone down who you are to avoid standing out. In those moments, remind yourself that authenticity is not just a choice, it's a commitment. It's a promise to honor your journey, your values, and your dreams. And while it may not always be the easiest path, it is the most rewarding. Celebrate the things that make you different, no matter how small they seem. Whether it's your sense of humor, your way of thinking, or your personal style, these are the elements that make you irreplaceable. Lean into them, use them, share them with the world. Because when you embrace your authenticity, you're not just living for yourself, you're giving others permission to do the same. So stand tall in who you are, speak your truth, chase your passions, and never apologize for being uniquely, beautifully, and unapologetically you. Your authenticity is your superpower, and the world needs it now more than ever. In a world where opinions shift like the wind and people often compromise their beliefs for the sake of convenience or approval, standing firm in your values is an act of courage. It requires conviction to stay true to what you believe in, especially when those beliefs are challenged or unpopular. But this isn't arrogance, it's strength, the kind of strength that defines your character and shapes your path in life. Your values are the foundation of who you are. They reflect what you hold dear, what you prioritize, and what you stand for. When you compromise on those values, even in small ways, you begin to drift away from your authentic self. Each time you say yes to something that goes against your beliefs or ignore that inner voice urging you to stand your ground, you weaken the trust you have in yourself. Over time, this leads to regret, frustration, and a sense of disconnect from your true purpose. Strength is not about being rigid or unyielding. It's about having clarity in what matters most to you and the courage to live by it, even when it's hard. It's easy to stand by your values when life is going smoothly or when others agree with you. The real test comes when circumstances push you to compromise, when staying true to your principles costs you an opportunity, a relationship, or approval from others. In those moments, it's essential to remind yourself that your integrity is worth far more than temporary comfort. Standing firm in your values doesn't mean you won't face resistance. People might misunderstand you, criticize you, or try to persuade you to change your stance. This can be uncomfortable, even painful, but remember, their opinions do not define you. Strength comes from within, not from external validation. When you stay rooted in what you believe, you cultivate a sense of self-respect that no one can take away. Being true to your values also has a ripple effect. It inspires others to reflect on their own principles and encourages them to live authentically. Think about the people you admire most. Chances are, they are individuals who stood firm in their beliefs, even in the face of adversity. Their unwavering commitment to their values likely left a lasting impression on you. By staying true to yourself, you have the power to be that kind of influence for others. It's important to understand that standing firm in your values doesn't mean you're unwilling to grow or learn. True strength includes the ability to listen, to understand other perspectives, and to evolve. But growth should never come at the expense of your core principles. There is a difference between being open-minded and being easily swayed. The former is a sign of wisdom, while the latter often stems from a lack of confidence in your own beliefs. Living by your values also requires self-awareness. You need to be clear about what you stand for and why. Take time to reflect on what matters most to you. What are the non-negotiables in your life? What are the guiding principles that shape your decisions and actions? Once you have clarity, it becomes much easier to navigate life's challenges without losing yourself. There will be times when standing firm in your values feels lonely. You may look around and see others taking easier paths or making choices that contradict what you believe is right. In those moments, remind yourself that integrity is not about taking the easy route, it's about staying true to your inner compass. The rewards of living authentically far outweigh the temporary discomfort of standing alone. Strength rooted in values is the kind of strength that lasts. It gives you the confidence to face challenges, the courage to make tough decisions, and the resilience to overcome setbacks. It ensures that no matter what life throws your way, you remain grounded in who you are. Never apologize for being true to your beliefs. It's not arrogance to stand firm in your values. It's the highest form of respect for yourself and for the life you're creating. By living with integrity, you build a legacy that not only honors your principles but also inspires others to do the same. Let your values be your anchor, your guide, and your source of unwavering strength. There's a special kind of magic in passion, a light that radiates from within and has the power to illuminate not only your own life but also the lives of those around you. Passion is what gives life depth and meaning. It's the energy that fuels creativity, the drive behind ambition, and the force that moves mountains. Yet so many people hesitate to express their passions, fearing judgment, failure, or the vulnerability of showing their truest selves. But hiding your light only dims the room. Letting your passion shine is not just a gift to yourself, it's a gift to the world. When you suppress your passions, you deny yourself the joy of fully experiencing life. Passion is not something to be buried or tamed. It's meant to be expressed, shared, and celebrated. It's the spark that ignites purpose and gives direction. Whether it's a love for art, an ambition to start a business, a desire to help others, or a fascination with learning, your passions are a reflection of your soul's calling. Ignoring them or hiding them away out of fear or doubt is like trying to silence a symphony. The music exists to be heard, not to be muted. Expressing your passions doesn't just enrich your own life, it inspires others. When people witness someone living with genuine enthusiasm and purpose, it creates a ripple effect. It reminds them of their own dreams and motivates them to pursue what sets their hearts on fire. Your courage to embrace and express your passions can be the encouragement someone else needs to do the same. Passion is contagious. It spreads energy, positivity, and possibility wherever it goes. By stepping into your light, you unknowingly light the path for others. Yet, expressing your passions is not without challenges. There will always be critics, doubters, and those who misunderstand your journey. It's easy to let the fear of judgment hold you back. But remember this, the opinions of others are not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to honor the fire within you. Passion is not about perfection, it's about authenticity. It's about showing up with all your enthusiasm, creativity, and effort, even if the outcome isn't flawless. The act of expressing your passion is itself an accomplishment, a triumph over fear and hesitation. It's also important to understand that your passion doesn't have to make sense to everyone. Not everyone will see what you see or feel what you feel, and that's okay. Your passion is yours for a reason. It was placed in your heart to give your life meaning and direction. Don't waste time seeking approval or validation. Instead, focus on nurturing and developing your passions. Allow them to grow and evolve. The right people, the ones who are meant to be inspired by your journey, will recognize and appreciate your light. Expressing your passions also means embracing vulnerability. It requires you to put yourself out there, to take risks, and to face uncertainty. But in that vulnerability lies incredible strength. When you pursue your passions with courage, you build resilience. You learn to trust yourself and to find joy in the process, rather than just the outcome. Passion is not about the destination, it's about the journey. It's about waking up every day excited to create, explore, and contribute in ways that are uniquely yours. The world needs more people who are alive with passion. Too often, we are surrounded by routine, conformity, and apathy. But when someone dares to live with passion, it disrupts the monotony and reminds us of what's possible. It brings color to a gray world and breathes life into spaces that felt stagnant. Your passion has the power to transform not only your life but also the lives of others. Whether you're an artist, a teacher, an innovator, or a dreamer, your passion is a light meant to shine. So don't hide your light. Let it shine boldly, unapologetically, and brightly. Express your passions in every way you can through your words, your actions, your creations, and your pursuits. Let your enthusiasm be a beacon, drawing others to the warmth and brilliance of your authentic self. In doing so, you'll discover that passion, when shared, grows exponentially. It becomes not just a personal joy, but a force for connection, inspiration, and change. Illuminate the room. The world is waiting for your light. The world is a place of constant challenges, opportunities, and uncertainties. To navigate it successfully, you must face it with confidence. Shyness may feel like a shield, a way to avoid scrutiny, rejection, or failure, but it's not protection, it's a barrier. Shyness keeps you from stepping into the arena, from taking risks that could lead to incredible rewards, and from fully expressing who you are. Courage, not shyness, is what arms you to handle life's challenges, and it is the key to unlocking your potential. Confidence is not about being fearless or never doubting yourself. It's about acknowledging those fears and doubts, but choosing to act in spite of them. It's a mindset that allows you to say, I may not have all the answers, but I trust myself to figure it out. Confidence is built through action, through showing up and engaging with the world, even when it feels uncomfortable. Every time you take a step forward, despite your hesitations, you build a stronger foundation of courage and self-belief. Shyness, on the other hand, often holds you back. It tells you to stay in the background, to avoid risks, and to play it safe. While this may seem like a way to avoid pain or failure, it also means missing out on growth, success, and the joy of achieving something meaningful. Challenges are inevitable in life, whether you face them with shyness or with confidence. The difference lies in how you approach them. Shyness often magnifies fears and makes obstacles appear larger than they are. Confidence, however, gives you the clarity and strength to tackle those challenges head-on. One of the most important aspects of building confidence is understanding that it's a skill, not an innate trait. Nobody is born with unshakable confidence. It's something that develops over time, through experiences, and through the willingness to step outside of your comfort zone. Start small. If you need to speak up in a meeting, try something new, or share your ideas with others. Each time you take these steps, you prove to yourself that you are capable. Confidence grows through these small victories, gradually silencing the voice of doubt. Facing the world with confidence also means embracing your uniqueness. Shyness often stems from the fear of judgment or rejection. But the truth is, no one else can bring what you bring to the table. Your perspective, talents, and voice are valuable. When you allow shyness to silence you, the world misses out on what you have to offer. Confidence doesn't mean being loud or dominating, it means showing up authentically and unapologetically. It's about owning your individuality and recognizing that your contributions matter. Challenges are a part of life, but they are also opportunities in disguise. They push you to grow, to adapt, and to discover strengths you didn't know you had. When you approach challenges with confidence, you see them as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Courage allows you to take risks, to fail and try again, and to learn from every experience. It's through this process that you develop resilience, the ability to bounce back stronger each time life tests you. Confidence also has a way of creating opportunities. People are naturally drawn to those who exude self-assurance because it inspires trust and respect. Whether it's in your career, relationships, or personal goals, confidence opens doors that shyness might keep closed. When you believe in yourself, others are more likely to believe in you too. This doesn't mean you'll never face rejection or criticism, but it does mean you'll have the strength to keep moving forward. It's important to remember that confidence is not arrogance. True confidence is quiet, rooted in self-awareness and a genuine belief in your abilities. It's not about proving yourself to others, but about knowing your worth and standing firm in it. Courage is the backbone of this kind of confidence. It's what empowers you to take the first step, to face your fears, and to keep going even when the path is uncertain. So face the world with confidence. Don't let shyness rob you of the experiences and achievements waiting for you. Challenges will come, but courage will guide you through them. Trust yourself, take action, and remember that every step you take is a step toward becoming the person you're meant to be. The world needs what you have to offer, but it can only see it if you have the courage to show up. In conclusion, Never let shyness hold you back from embracing the challenges and opportunities that life presents. Confidence, fueled by courage, is the force that will help you navigate through life's uncertainties and elevate you to new heights. By expressing your voice, asking for what you deserve, celebrating your uniqueness, standing firm in your values, and sharing your passions, you unlock the power within you to create the life you desire. Remember, the world is full of challenges, but they are merely stepping stones to your success. So face the world with confidence, knowing that you are equipped with everything you need to thrive. Thank you for taking the time to listen and reflect on these words. May you step into your life with unwavering confidence and a heart full of courage. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about love that nobody wants to hear, but everybody needs to understand. Love is not always loud. It doesn't always show up with flowers, text messages, or grand gestures. Sometimes love walks into the room and quietly takes a seat at the back. Sometimes love withdraws. It retreats. And you sit there wondering, why isn't he calling? Why isn't he texting? Let me explain. When a man loves you, truly loves you, he's not just thinking about today. He's thinking about tomorrow. And the day after that, he's wondering, do I have what it takes to keep her safe? To keep her happy? To be the man she needs me to be? That kind of pressure, that weight, it's heavy. So what does he do? He steps back, not because he doesn't care, but because he cares too much. He's fighting battles you don't see, working on a version of himself you haven't met yet. His silence isn't an insult, it's a promise. But here's where it gets real. Love isn't about constant attention. It's not about text messages or reassurance. Love grows in the spaces between. If he ignores you, he's giving you room to see if you can meet him there in the silence, in the uncertainty, in the waiting. You see, love isn't about convenience, it's about commitment. If a man pulls away, it doesn't always mean he's leaving. Sometimes it means he's preparing, he's becoming. Because real love is not about what he can take, it's about what he can give. So if he loves you, he might ignore you. Not because you're not worthy of his attention, but because he's trying to become worthy of yours. The question isn't whether he loves you. The question is, can you trust the silence? Can you trust the process? Because love isn't about being seen every second. It's about being felt, even when he's not there. It's about knowing that his silence is temporary, but his love, if it's real, will last forever. Love is often romanticized as an endless cascade of grand gestures, whispered words of affection, and moments of undeniable connection. Yet the truth is far more nuanced. Love, in its purest form, doesn't always speak through the obvious. It doesn't always show up in the way we expect. Sometimes love chooses silence. Not the silence of neglect or indifference, but the kind of silence that carries weight and meaning, a silence that shouts louder than any word ever could. When a man loves deeply, he doesn't always feel the need to fill the space with constant affirmations or actions. Instead, his silence can be purposeful. It is in those moments of quiet that he reflects, gathers strength, and seeks clarity about how to show up for the woman he loves. For some, silence isn't an absence of love, it's an expression of it. It's his way of ensuring that his next step isn't a misstep, that his intentions align with his actions, and that he doesn't falter in the role he feels compelled to fulfill. Love is transformative. It challenges a man to become the best version of himself, not just for his own sake, but for the sake of the person he holds dear. That transformation doesn't happen in noise or chaos, it happens in stillness. In silence, he can confront his fears, insecurities, and doubts without the added pressure of maintaining a facade. Silence becomes the canvas on which he paints a clearer picture of what it means to love deeply, responsibly, and intentionally. To love someone is to carry a profound sense of responsibility. It's not simply about being present. In the easy moments, it's about showing up when it matters most, even if that means taking a step back to recalibrate. For a man who loves deeply, silence is often his way of ensuring that he's capable of meeting the demands of love. He's not ignoring you to hurt you or to push you away. Instead, he's retreating to protect the bond, to strengthen it from within. His silence is an act of preparation, a pause that allows him to step forward with clarity and purpose. It's important to understand that love can be overwhelming. When a man realizes the depth of his feelings, it can shake the very foundation of who he is. Love has a way of uncovering vulnerabilities, exposing the raw parts of his soul that he may have spent years shielding from the world. In silence, he wrestles with these emotions, seeking to understand them, to master them, so they don't master him. His quiet moments are not an escape from love, but a testament to its power, a power so profound that it demands careful attention and respect. Silence for a man in love can also be a sign of trust. It's his way of believing in the strength of the relationship. He doesn't feel the need to constantly fill the air with words or actions because he trusts that the bond is strong enough to withstand the quiet. It's in those moments of stillness that the foundation of the relationship is tested and, if nurtured, grows even stronger. True love doesn't need constant validation. It thrives in understanding, patience, and mutual respect. For the woman on the other side of this silence, it can feel confusing, even painful. It's natural to question, to wonder if the silence is a sign of indifference or fading affection. But love isn't always easy to decipher. Sometimes it requires faith in the unseen, belief in the intangible. His silence may not provide the reassurance you crave, but it carries a promise, an unspoken vow that he's working to become the man you need him to be. In a world that glorifies instant gratification and constant communication, it's easy to misinterpret silence as a lack of interest or care. But true love doesn't conform to societal expectations. It doesn't always arrive with fanfare or flourish. Sometimes it comes quietly, in the spaces between words, in the pauses that allow for growth and reflection. When rooted in love is not an end, it's a bridge. It connects the man he is now to the man he's striving to become. It connects your present to your shared future. It's not a void, it's a vessel, carrying the weight of his intentions, his dreams, and his love for you. To love deeply is to trust that silence, to understand that it holds more than what words could ever express. When a man loves deeply, his instinct is often to protect, to shield the one he loves from the burdens he carries. This protection doesn't always manifest in ways that are easy to understand. At times it looks like distance. It feels like withdrawal. It can even appear as if he's shutting you out. But more often than not, this retreat isn't born of neglect or disinterest, it's rooted in love. A love so deep that he's willing to bear the weight of his struggles alone, so that you don't have to. Men, by nature or by conditioning, are often taught to equate love with strength. They internalize the idea that being a provider, a protector, and a source of stability is what defines their role in a relationship. So when they find themselves facing vulnerabilities, be it fear, doubt, stress, or insecurity, it can feel like a betrayal of that role. To reveal those vulnerabilities may feel, to them, like revealing weakness. And weakness, in their mind, is the very thing they've promised to protect you from. This is why many men retreat. It's not because they don't care, and it's certainly not because they've stopped loving you. On the contrary, they withdraw because they love you too much to let you see them in a state of fragility. They're afraid that their struggles might burden you, that their pain might overshadow the joy they want to bring into your life. In their minds, retreating is an act of love. It's a way of keeping you safe from the storms they're battling within. A man in love often carries an invisible weight. He may not talk about it, but it's there, looming, pressing, unrelenting. It could be the pressure to succeed, the fear of failure, or the desire to meet the expectations he believes you have of him. These internal battles are deeply personal, and for many men, sharing them feels unnatural or even impossible. It's not that they don't trust you, it's that they've been taught to handle these things alone. To them, love means being the rock, the unshakable foundation that you can lean on. And when they feel their foundation cracking, Their instinct is to step away and fix it quietly, alone before they let you lean on it again. The retreat is often temporary, though it may not feel that way in the moment. When a man pulls back, it's his way of regrouping, of finding the strength he needs to continue being the partner he wants to be. It's a pause, not an end. But for the woman on the receiving end of this distance, it can be confusing and even painful. It's natural to wonder why he's pulling away, to question whether you've done something wrong, or to fear that his love is fading. These feelings are valid, but they often miss the deeper truth. His withdrawal is not a rejection of you, it's an act of protection, a way of preserving the relationship by ensuring that his personal struggles don't spill over into it. This instinct to shield you from his vulnerabilities is, in many ways, a testament to how deeply he values you. He wants you to see his strength, his confidence, his ability to take care of you, and the life you're building together. When he's unable to feel those things within himself, his first thought is to protect you from that uncertainty. It's not that he doesn't want your support, he just doesn't want you to carry the weight that he believes is his alone to bear. This retreat can also be a learning moment for both partners. It's an opportunity to build trust, to show him that love doesn't require perfection, and to remind him that you're not just there for the good times, but for all times. While his instinct may be to protect you from his vulnerabilities, your love can gently show him that those vulnerabilities don't make him less worthy of your affection or respect. On the contrary, they make him human, and in their humanity, they can bring you closer. For a man, retreating isn't about abandoning love. It's about preserving it. It's his way of ensuring that his struggles don't diminish the life you share. It's his way of saying, I love you too much to let my storms become yours. And while it may be difficult to see in the moment, his retreat is often a powerful expression of his love. It's a reflection of his commitment to your happiness and his willingness to fight his battles so that you never have to. In time, as he works through his challenges, he will return not as a man who has abandoned you, but as one who has fought for you in his own way. Love is more than a feeling, it is a responsibility, one that many men take deeply to heart. It's not just about being present during the moments of joy and celebration, but about being a steadfast pillar during challenges and uncertainties. For some men, the weight of that responsibility can be overwhelming. They find themselves questioning whether they are truly enough, whether they can meet the expectations they perceive from their partner, and whether they are capable of giving the love and support that a relationship demands. In those moments of self-doubt, they may pull back not because their love has lessened, but because they feel an urgent need to grow into the man they believe you deserve. This retreat is not a lack of commitment, it is, in fact, evidence of just how seriously they take their role in your life. To them, love isn't just an emotional connection, it is a duty to protect, provide, and nurture. When they feel they are falling short in any of these areas, it can trigger a deep sense of inadequacy. They might begin to internalize the belief that they are unworthy of your love or incapable of sustaining the relationship in the way they aspire to. In their minds, pulling back becomes a way to regroup, to work on themselves, and to become stronger, not for their own sake, but for the sake of the love they hold for you. Men often measure their worth in tangible terms. They ask themselves questions like, can I provide security? Can I offer stability? Can I ensure happiness for the person I love? When the answers to those questions feel uncertain, it can cause a man to spiral inward. Instead of leaning on their partner during these moments, they might instinctively retreat, driven by the desire to fix these perceived shortcomings alone. They don't want to be a source of worry or a burden, so they take the weight of their struggles upon themselves, believing that this is what strength looks like. This withdrawal can be confusing for their partner, who may interpret the distance as a lack of interest or love. It's natural to question what went wrong, to wonder why someone who once seemed so connected is now pulling away. But more often than not, the root cause isn't apathy, it's fear. The fear of not being enough, the fear of disappointing you, the fear that their love, as it stands, isn't sufficient. This fear, ironically, is born out of how much they care. It reflects the depth of their feelings and their desire to rise to the occasion for you. In the silence of their retreat, many men wrestle with internal battles that they may never voice aloud. They challenge their own insecurities, confront their weaknesses, and push themselves to grow. They may not express this process in words, but it's a quiet, determined effort to become a better version of themselves. They are striving to be the man who not only meets your expectations, but exceeds them. The man who can stand beside you with confidence, knowing he's giving his all. For their partner, it can be a test of patience and trust. It's difficult to watch someone you love withdraw, especially when you're willing to share their burdens and support them through their struggles. But part of loving someone deeply is understanding the ways in which they process and grow. It's recognizing that their retreat isn't about creating distance between you, it's about building a bridge to a stronger future together. Their time apart is not spent in neglect, but in preparation, ensuring that when they return, they do so with greater clarity, strength, and purpose. At its core, this retreat is an act of love, even if it doesn't feel that way in the moment. It's a man's way of saying, I want to be the best I can for you. It's his recognition of the immense value you bring into his life and his determination to be worthy of that gift. The weight of responsibility he feels isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of his commitment. It shows that he sees the relationship as something worth fighting for, worth improving himself for, and worth carrying through even the heaviest of days. In time, as he works through his doubts and fears, he will emerge stronger and more secure. He will return not as someone who walked away from love, but as someone who paused to ensure he could meet it with the full measure of his heart. And when he does, the bond you share will be all the more resilient for the effort he poured into himself and ultimately into you. True love has a way of shaking even the most composed individuals. It touches parts of the heart and mind that may have remained dormant for years, and with that awakening comes a vulnerability that can feel both exhilarating and terrifying. For some men, love isn't just an emotion, it's an overwhelming force that threatens to strip away the control they've carefully built over their inner world. In their attempts to navigate these intense feelings, they might seem distant or even ignore the person they care for most. But this behavior isn't rooted in rejection, it's their way of regaining emotional balance, of finding a way to master feelings that suddenly feel too powerful to contain. When a man loves deeply, he may find himself standing on unfamiliar terrain. Love brings with it a vulnerability that can feel like losing one's footing, and for someone accustomed to being in control, this can be deeply unsettling. Control provides a sense of safety and predictability, a way to navigate life without being thrown off course. But love has no roadmap, no set rules. It's unpredictable, raw, and all-consuming. For some, this lack of control is exhilarating, but for others, it's terrifying. The idea of being so deeply connected to someone, of placing their heart in another's hands, can feel like surrendering a piece of themselves. In response to this overwhelming sensation, some men withdraw not because they care less, but because they care so much that they feel the need to process their emotions privately. Ignoring the one they love may be an unconscious defense mechanism, a way to create space where they can sort through the tidal wave of feelings without losing themselves in the process. It's not about pushing their partner away, it's about finding a way to steady themselves in the face of emotions that feel too vast to handle all at once. This withdrawal can be deeply confusing for their partner. After all, love is often expressed through closeness, through acts of affection and reassurance. When those acts suddenly seem to disappear, it's easy to interpret the distance as rejection. But the truth is often the opposite. The space they create is not about pulling away permanently, it's about recalibrating, about finding a way to remain present without being consumed by the intensity of their emotions. It's a pause, a moment to catch their breath in a relationship that means so much to them that it threatens to upend their sense of self. The fear of losing control in love isn't about the other person, it's about the self. It's about grappling with the realization that love requires a level of openness and surrender that can feel frightening. For some, the idea of being too attached, too vulnerable, or too dependent on another person feels like stepping into uncharted waters. They may worry that losing control of their emotions could lead to losing control of their lives, their decisions, or their sense of independence. And so, they pull back not to disconnect, but to find a way to engage with their emotions without feeling overwhelmed by them. This need to master their feelings is often a reflection of how deeply they value the relationship. They want to show up fully, to be present in a way that feels authentic and balanced. But to do that, they must first come to terms with the intensity of their own emotions. Ignoring the one they love can sometimes be their way of saying, "I need a moment to process this." It's a way to ensure that when they do return, they can offer their best self, not a version of themselves that's struggling to stay afloat. For their partner, this behavior can be challenging to navigate. It requires patience, trust, and an understanding that love isn't always linear. It ebbs and flows, sometimes surging with intensity, and other times retreating into moments of quiet reflection. While it may be difficult to feel ignored or distanced, it's important to recognize that these moments of withdrawal are often a testament to the depth of their feelings. They step back not because they don't care, but because they care so much that they need to find a way to handle their emotions in a healthy, sustainable way. Over time, as they grow more comfortable with the vulnerability that love demands, the need to retreat often diminishes. They learn that losing control isn't necessarily a bad thing, that it can lead to deeper connection, greater intimacy, and a more profound understanding of themselves and their partner. They realize that love isn't about mastering emotions, but about flowing with them, about embracing the uncertainty and the chaos that come with opening one's heart fully. Silence in this context is not the absence of love, but a space created to explore its depth. A man who deeply cares might withdraw temporarily to see how the relationship exists in the absence of constant interaction. This space is not a void, but an opportunity, an invitation for the connection to prove its durability and authenticity. Genuine bonds are not dependent on continual validation. They are rooted in mutual understanding, trust, and the quiet confidence that love doesn't waver when words or actions are momentarily absent. For some men, this silence is a way to protect what they hold dear. They want to ensure that the relationship is not just a fleeting connection, but something more profound, something capable of enduring life's challenges. It's easy to feel connected when everything is perfect, when communication flows freely and affection is abundant. But life is rarely perfect. There will be moments of distance, misunderstandings, and external pressures. A man who loves deeply understands this reality and seeks to know if the bond you share can weather those storms. This withdrawal is not about testing your loyalty or creating unnecessary tension. It's about finding assurance in the quiet moments. It's about seeing if the connection remains steady, even when there's no constant reassurance. For him, silence can be a sacred space, a pause, where he reflects on the relationship, its meaning, and its future. He wants to know if love can survive in its purest form, unadorned by the distractions of daily interaction. Can it thrive in stillness? Can it endure in the face of temporary distance? For his partner, this can be a challenging experience. Silence is often misinterpreted as neglect or disinterest. It can feel unsettling to be left without the usual expressions of love, leading to doubts and insecurities. But it's essential to understand the intention behind this silence. It's not meant to create distance, but to reveal the strength of what already exists. It's a way of asking, without words, can we stand strong even in the quiet? True love does not require constant validation. It does not demand endless attention or reassurance. Instead, it finds its roots in mutual respect, understanding, and trust. A connection that can endure silence is one that can weather anything. It's a bond that transcends the need for constant affirmation, one that thrives on the quiet knowledge that love is present, even when it's not being actively expressed. When a man creates this space, he's also testing his own ability to trust and let go. For many, love comes with its own set of vulnerabilities, the fear of being hurt, of not being enough, or of losing what matters most. By stepping back, he's not only observing the relationship but also challenging himself to release these fears. He's learning to trust that love doesn't need to be micromanaged, that it can flourish in the moments when he's not actively tending to it. For both partners, this process can lead to growth. It encourages introspection, patience, and a deeper appreciation for the connection. It's a reminder that love is not about constant proximity, but about the quality of the bond. When the silence ends, and it always does, the relationship emerges stronger, fortified by the understanding that it can endure not just through words and actions, but also through quiet reflection. Silence becomes a testament to love's resilience. It's not about ignoring or neglecting, it's about trusting in the strength of what you share. Genuine love doesn't crumble in the absence of attention, it stands firm, rooted in the shared understanding that true connection goes beyond the surface. It exists in the spaces between words, in the moments of stillness, and in the quiet confidence that what you have is real, enduring, and unshakable. Sometimes, love requires space for growth. A man who truly cares may step away not because he doesn't value you, but because he recognizes the importance of evolving as an individual before fully stepping into a relationship. This temporary distance is not a reflection of his feelings toward you, nor is it a sign of neglect. Rather, it is an intentional decision to build a life that can support and sustain the love you share. It is an investment in the future of the relationship, a way of ensuring that when he returns, he is ready to give you all of himself, in a way that will truly honor both your connection and his own personal development. Men feel a deep sense of responsibility toward their partners. They want to provide not only emotionally but also practically, offering a secure foundation for the relationship to flourish. But this requires growth: personal, professional, and emotional growth. It's not enough to simply exist in a relationship. To truly show up and build something lasting, a person must first ensure they are in the best possible position to do so. Sometimes this means taking a step back to focus on self-improvement, to lay the groundwork for the life they want to share with you. The desire to grow is not born from dissatisfaction, but from a place of love and commitment. A man who loves you wants to ensure that he can give you everything you deserve. This might mean taking time to further his career, improve his financial stability, or work on personal issues that may be preventing him from fully engaging in the relationship. This period of growth is about him preparing himself, becoming the partner he believes you deserve, and making sure that the foundation of your future together is solid. While this growth can involve physical or emotional distance, it should not be mistaken for withdrawal or a lack of interest. It's about making choices that might seem painful in the short term, but are aimed at long-term success. Just as a plant needs time to grow and develop roots before it can bloom, so too does love require a space to mature. In this silence, he is not ignoring you, he is investing in himself so that he can return stronger, more capable, and more equipped to nurture the relationship. For the person on the receiving end, it can be difficult to understand this need for distance. In a world that often values constant communication and shared experiences, the absence of attention can feel like a sign of abandonment or lack of affection. But love, in its most mature form, understands that space and independence are necessary for a relationship to thrive. True love is not about clinging to one another, but about giving each other the freedom to grow and evolve, knowing that the bond between you will endure through those changes. In his absence, there is an opportunity for both partners to reflect and grow individually. While he is working on himself, it's important to use this time as a chance for your own personal development as well. Growth in a relationship is not solely the responsibility of one person. Both partners should strive to become the best versions of themselves, understanding that a strong relationship is made up of two people who are grounded in their own identities, passions, and aspirations. The distance isn't a void, it's a space for individual growth that ultimately strengthens the connection. This period of absence, while difficult, can deepen the trust and understanding between two people. It teaches patience and allows both partners to see that love is not about constant proximity, but about the ability to remain connected despite physical or emotional distance. The love that endures through growth is often the most resilient. When both individuals return to the relationship with a greater sense of self, they are better equipped to support one another and build a future together that is grounded in mutual respect and understanding. A man who steps away to grow is not abandoning you, but rather giving the relationship a chance to thrive in the long run. He understands that the best love is not about rushing forward, but about laying the groundwork for a future that is secure, stable, and lasting. His absence is not a rejection, it is a commitment to ensuring that when he returns, he is the partner you deserve, ready to build a life with you that is both fulfilling and sustainable. In this way, distance becomes an essential part of the process of love, one that ultimately brings both people closer together, stronger and more united in their shared vision for the future. In conclusion, the silence, withdrawal, or absence of a man who loves you is not a sign of neglect or a lack of affection. Rather, it is often an intentional act aimed at personal growth, emotional mastery, or the development of a life that can truly sustain and support the relationship. It's in these moments of distance that love is tested and strengthened, revealing its depth and resilience. True love is not about constant closeness, but about the mutual trust and understanding that a relationship can endure, even in the quiet moments. A man who steps back does so with the intention of returning stronger, more capable of building a future together. And it is in these moments of growth, both individually and as a couple, that love matures into something more meaningful, lasting, and fulfilling. Thank you for your time and attention. I hope these words have brought clarity and understanding to the complexities of love and relationships.